Right, we're on. How you doing? My name's Callum. I'm 29. I live in the UK. I'm a builder. And this is my story, my testimony, I suppose you could say, about Jesus Christ and hell. I suppose I'll start from the beginning. I used to live in Australia. I had my whole childhood out there. It was great. Towards the later stages of my childhood in Australia, we attended a church, a Christian church. At the time, it was called Perth Christian Life Centre. Great place, great people, great environment, and I suppose you could say, yeah, I was religious. I believed. I always have believed, and I was surrounding myself. Well, my parents helped surround their children, i.e. us and my brothers and sisters, with good people. And I picked up a few things whilst I was there, things that have stayed with me throughout my whole life. But to cut a long story short, we emigrated back to the UK where I was actually initially born. And I suppose you could say I lost my way, got wrapped up in stuff, bad stuff, drugs, violence. I suppose just living life, not really paying attention to really who I was hurting or the consequences of my actions or anything like that. But in the back of my mind, I always knew like, this ain't quite right, is it? I mean, come on, get with the program, so to speak. So fast forward many years, and I've settled down with my beautiful, stunning fiance, and we have two beautiful children, boy and a girl. And I suppose you could say I calmed down. I wasn't like an addicted drug addict by any stretch of the imagination, but I abused drugs, partying, just having a good time. I was involved with the wrong people, and it was all my own doing. I was fully aware of what I was doing. There was no blame put onto anyone else. I was responsible for my own actions, and I met my partner Jade, my fiance, and I got out of all that. She pulled me out of it, and she really, I suppose, just pulled the reins in. She said, you got to sort it out. If you want to be with me, I'm not doing that, and I'm not going to be involved in all of that. So I had a decision to make, and I made the right decision. And I turned my back on all of it. I segregated myself from all them sort of people, and started a new life with this lovely woman of mine. I suppose you could say from a young age I've always had a feeling. It started when I suppose you could say, maybe 15, 16, that there was just something not right in the world. There's something just not right. I got this gut feeling, something's coming, something big, something major, something catastrophically big is coming. I suppose you could liken it to like Armageddon or some form of like awakening, or you know what I'm getting at. And I've been getting a strong feeling for the last few years. It's getting stronger every now and again. I'm really starting to think about it more, and I got this feeling. I suppose it started about a year ago now. I got this gut feeling just to get back to basics. Get back to the church, get back and get straight, get right with the Lord. There once was a time where I was, and I can honestly say I haven't been for a long time. So I was getting this gut feeling, get back. I couldn't pinpoint it. It was just like a sixth sense, something outside of what you can feel, touch, see and hear. Something was telling me to get back. So my sister, God love her, she's always been much like myself, not the violence or the drugs, like spiritually always believed, and she had been attending a church on and off for a few years, where we live in the UK, in the town in Portsmouth, in the city I live, and it's a lovely church. So I actually tell a lie. A lad that I work with, a Colombian lad, he's deeply religious, great lad, and I messaged him just out of the blue, you know, these feelings were getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and I was watching videos on YouTube, and I was like, I've got to do this. I've got to do this. So I messaged my mate who I work with, and I was like, look, bud, I need to get to a church. And for those people that know me now, and yeah, well, not just now, for many, many years, you know, it's not something they would likely hear me say. So I can imagine it took him by surprise. So I messaged him. I said, look, mate, I need to get to a church. I want to get into a church. I want to start attending church, you know. And he called me back. He called me straight away. Like, this was done via text, and he called me up. He actually FaceTimed me, and he's like, "Oh, this is brilliant. This is awesome. You know, yeah, of course, come down. You know, you're always welcome." And I explained to him. I said, "Look, mate, this is the feelings I've been getting, and I ain't gonna lie, they're freaking me out a bit. Like, I know there's something trying to tell me something. Call it God, Jesus, spiritual intuition, I don't know. But what was undeniable was this feeling. So he's like, come down. He's a Jehovah's Witness. So I went down there with my sister. I spoke to my sister and I said, look, I found this church. Look at the state of my barnet. Sorry, peeps. I found this church. She's like, yeah, cool, let's go down there. So we went down there, and it turned out it wasn't what I was really looking for. You know, I don't know if you've ever been to a Jehovah's Witness church. I mean, I turned up pretty much like how I look now, just like work gear on. Not, it is what it is. And all these people suited and booted. You know, and that was all very welcoming, don't get me wrong. But the church I went to in Australia was a very happy church, you know, songs, praise. Everyone got involved, you know, just like a real big happy family. You know, you can imagine, you know, the band's playing, you know, all the kids are getting interaction, and the Jehovah's Witness church I went to, that my mate went to or goes to, is not like that. So it didn't really fulfil what I was looking for, you know. I'm trying to find like my childhood church again, and it didn't do that. So like I said, look, happy days, thanks for inviting me, mate. I'm probably not going to come back to this church. I'm going to try and find this. I mean, nothing wrong with the church, you know. I mean, it's loads of people. I mean, there's millions of Jehovah's Witnesses around the world, and that's fine for them. But it just personally wasn't for me. So my sister said, well, let's go to the church I used to go to. You know, it's similar to the one we went to as kids. Come along, see what you think. So I went to that church, and bang, yeah, it was exactly like it was when we was kids. It wasn't on such a grand scale, but essentially, like, you know, the core, what the church was about and what they preach and how they talk and how they interact with you is very, very much the same. So I was like, great, all right, cool, found a church, you know. So started attending the church, you know. I'm not gonna lie, it was a massive culture shock. You know, I haven't been to a church in, got to say, probably 15 years, you know. So I walked into the church and everyone was lovely and really friendly, you know, like coming up to me, and that was fine, you know, that was cool. But like when they start singing, it's like bang, hands up in the air, and they're proper passionate about it, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, it was like, whoa, culture shock. But I've got to persevere through this, you know. This is just me. This is like, I've got this shield up. I've been a prick, for want of a better word, for many, many years. And these are just the byproducts. These feelings I got now of all that, whoa, are just the byproducts of the life I was living for a long time. So I understood that, and that's it. I'm going to persevere through it. I now have been gone for a couple of months now, and I will continue to go. So on top of all of this, the feelings that I was getting, you know, the interaction with certain people, talking about it, this, that and the other, I've been watching videos on YouTube, different testimonies, hell testimonies, heaven testimonies, just general testimonies of people that have had genuine experiences or interactions with Jesus or whatever it be in the spiritual realm, you know. And they fascinate me. They really fascinate me, because I've always believed, and I do believe wholeheartedly. So I've been watching these videos coupled with reading the Bible, and attending church and trying to change, you know, just little subtle changes. I mean, I'm not a lunatic. I don't. I'm just a normal bloke, you know. I'm a working man, but I know that I'm flawed. So like, trying to change little subtle things that I know are not right, and trying to move on. So these videos, these testimonies that I've been that I had been watching, and I suppose I still do to a certain extent. They were mad, and they are mad. They are quite far fetched, you know. And you can just tell. Like, I watch them, many different ones, and you just know these people are not lying. You know, you can just look at them, you think this geezer is not lying, or this woman, she is telling the truth. She wholeheartedly believes what she is saying, and I wanted that. I wanted to experience that, for better or for worse, you know. I've been suffering. I've had depression now for about a year, something like that. I lost my nan and my granddad in a very short space of time. Two people that are very dear to me. Coupled with like I've got a few injuries that I'm looking at big operations for, and to be honest with you, I don't know how I'm going to support my family whilst I have these operations, and yeah, it's sort of stress and just the weight of it all, you know. And I've actually had to concede and admit, like, I'm not right at the minute, you know. I've just felt all anger all the time, you know, not being very nice, not abusive, but just there's something not right. So I'm suffering a bit with that. I've just lost my pattern of thought. Anyway, so I've been watching these videos, and I go to work, and I talk to my brother. I work with my brother, and we're roofers, and tell him about these videos, showing him, and he's like, that's mad, whoa. And I've been praying to Jesus, I've been praying to God to show me, like, just I want to know, I want to show me, and that's it. There can be no doubt in my mind whatsoever. That's it, end of. You're the one. I will follow you wholeheartedly, to the best of my abilities. I will tell whoever listens to me, I'll tell my story, you know, in the hope that it's enough for them to at least turn around and pay attention, and then to hopefully start walking in the light a bit better, you know. That's like a gift I've got. I can talk to people from all different walks of life, from a CEO of a company to a homeless man on the street. It doesn't matter. I can alter the way I speak. Like, I can just talk to people, you know. Really talk to them, communicate with them, and get their attention, get them to listen to me, and I'll listen to them. So I've been praying. I've been asking. Look, God, if you would show me these things, or show me something, show me a cast iron that I know that is it can't be misinterpreted. I know for a fact that this is the real deal. I'll serve you, all of it, you know. But I was praying these things, and I weren't truly, I suppose you could say, I've called them like hollow prayers, pardon me. They weren't, I didn't 100% really mean it, you know, and nothing was happening. And then one particular day, you know, like, this is all coming to a bit of a head, you know, my feelings, and I can't stop thinking about it, you know, and I'm reading the Bible, and I'm not gonna lie, some of it is just like well out there. I don't quite get it just yet, but I will in time. I dropped my little brother off, and I was driving home, and I was praying out loud whilst driving, you know, not like shouting it, but just talking as I'm talking now, and I meant it, and I said, like, Jesus, if you show me a clear-cut sign, if you let me experience one of these out-of-body experiences, or a vision, and show me, I will use all my talents or abilities or my time and energy to go out and tell people, you know. I think people would probably listen to me as opposed to like a Jehovah's Witness, like knock on the door, suit and boot, you know. People just boom, slam the door in their faces. Straight away, their guards up. But if a bloke like myself, you know, covered in tattoos, builder, starts talking, maybe it's a different approach and they'll start listening. So I asked this of him. It wasn't demand, I wasn't challenging him like, if you're real, you will show yourself. Nothing like that. It was a genuine request, and I meant it from my heart. I meant it, yeah? So this was on a Friday afternoon. Finished work, weekend, bang. And I drive home and I said this prayer and I meant it. Parked up and I got indoors, seeing my wife and my kids, well, my fiance and my kids. Standard routine, you know, play with the kids, get in, play with the kids. All have dinner, wash the kids, bedtime. Me and my missus get a bit of downtime. So we whips up the laptop, open up the laptop, and we was watching Game of Thrones, you know, big fan of Game of Thrones, great series. So we was watching it, and I was due to be working away the following week, I think, for maybe about a month. So we was watching Game of Thrones. It got quite late, maybe about 10, 11, you know, and my missus got tired, so she's gone and kit. So I'll take the laptop off her, and I thought, wow, I'm not tired just yet, so I'll download a load of films for when I work away. You know, I'm going to be stuck in the digs, bored out my head. I'll take the laptop with me and I can just watch a load of films or whatever just to keep me entertained. So I stay up, and I suppose maybe like it got to about 1:30 in the morning. I wasn't really checking, but it was late. It was like early hours in the morning. I finally turned the laptop off. I'm dead beat. That's it. Boom, I'm going to bed. So I'm lying down and I'm just dozing off. And I'm right at that point. We all know that point. You know, when you just literally you're about to nod off. You're still awake. If someone like my missus would have coughed, boom, I'll be awake again. You know, I was still conscious, and but I was right on that point of nodding off, and that's when it happened. I had my eyes closed. And like I said, fully conscious of what was going around me. If the dog had barked at a cat in the garden, then it would have disturbed me. I would have woke up. My eyes would have been open straight away. So I'm lying down with my eyes closed, and sounds mental, but I felt my spirit leave my body. It sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy. I know how it sounds. Believe me, I know how it sounds. But this is gospel truth. I was lying down on my back, and I just felt. I felt like I started raising up, and I actually felt like me detached from my body. I can't describe. It weren't like Velcro being ripped or anything like that. It was just I just felt myself like and that was it. I was in the spirit realm, I suppose you could say, and I started to lift up, and I knew what it was straight away. I didn't freak out. I didn't panic. There was no what is going on, like open my eyes in panic. I knew what it was. I remembered, I forgot the prayer that I had said. I was too busy trying to get to sleep, or even before that, I was watching Game of Thrones, downloading films. I wasn't thinking about that prayer. But as soon as I left my body, bang, I knew what it was. And I said, I went, you're real. You want to show me something now. Where are we going? You know? And I actually said that. And I lifted up, and I did sort of very, very, very slow 360. And as I come back round to my initial position, I looked down and I could see my missus asleep. And she was rolled over to her left side, facing the other way. And she was out cold. And I actually looked at her from perhaps maybe 4 feet above my bed. I was floating above my bed. It was real. I'm telling you now, it was real. You know, oh, it's a dream. It's a dream. No, I've had dreams. I'm a grown man. I know what a dream is. Even a very lucid dream. You wake up after a very quite intense dream, and like even like 5 minutes, like whoa. But you know it's a dream. This was real. I left my body. Okay. So I've said to him, like, I was happy. I was just that alone. You know, just that alone. I was ecstatic. I've just got confirmation, like guaranteed. I know in my being of beings, my heart of hearts, that is real. That is like I've just won the lottery, the Powerball. I've just won the $1 billion question. And I said to him, I went, where are we going? Where are you taking me? It can only be two things, can't it? Like, you can either be good or it can even be bad. Unfortunately for me, it was bad. It was bad. I went to three different he took me to three different places, and they were all bad. So I started to, after I raised up out my body and I was like in a stationary position, maybe 4 or 5 feet above my mattress, bang, we just started flying through space-time, like this realm, whatever it is, I don't know. But we was going, and I cannot tell you how fast we was going. We was flying through the air so fast. I could feel, I had all my senses. I could feel the G-force of just the sheer acceleration of wherever it was we was going. It was blue light. All I could see was just blue light coming towards me. And I mean, like, we was going so fast. I mean, if I had to give you an example in like this realm, like I could imagine us if I was able to go that speed in the real world. Like, I live in the UK, Portsmouth on the south coast. Yeah, I could get from here to like Australia in 10 seconds. Like that. I mean, we was gone, and I mean we was gone, and I could feel this sheer acceleration. And just blue light, like it was just hitting my face, and we was flying. So I'm screaming out, like, not even feel like, whoa, like, yeah, this is crazy, this is mad, I'm loving it. And we arrived at this place. I instantly knew it was bad. I was like in a, just like bang, I just arrived there. It's like almost like an instantaneous teleportation, I don't know. But it was a massive, like, derelict, like an old shower room. It's the best way I could describe it, I suppose. Very big, high ceilings, all derelicts. Like, if you can imagine, like, you know when you see like these old messed up horror films where they always end up in the most dodgiest place, like an old Freddy film, you know, and they're just it's the most dodgiest place known to man, and they find themselves in there. Yeah, there's something. It was like that, and I just knew. I knew in my heart of heart. I knew. Whoa, okay, this isn't good. This isn't heavenly. This isn't love. This is bad. I feel a real strange awe in this place, and so I took a couple of steps, and then bang, something grabbed me. It was fast, and it grabbed me and it pulled me to its face, and I could feel like the pressure, like, you know what I mean, I could feel it. Like, people say, oh, I feel pain in dreams. I don't think you actually really truly feel pain in dreams. I've been stabbed, shot in dreams, I've fallen, and I felt it, but it's not a pain. It's like you're like, ooh, you know, but no, I felt this, like, I felt it. And he looked at me, pulled me to his face, looked at me, and then he just, and he threw me against the wall, hard. And bang, I hit the wall, and it scared the hell out of me, because I felt it, you know. I felt the impact of the wall. I felt my ribs push in, where I just hit this wall with quite a lot of force. I hit the deck, and I was like, whoa, okay, red flag. I felt that. And then I said earlier on that I've got injuries at the minute. I've got a torn cruciate ligament in my knee. I'm not too quick on my feet, I suppose you could say, but I didn't have no injuries. Like, I was like, I got up and I quickly darted, and I was like moving like how I suppose I should move at full fitness. And I sort of backed myself into a corner, and these things, there was 3 of them, okay? One of them grabbed me, but there was 2 others. And they were big. When I say big, I mean they were like, I'm 6'2", and they were probably about 11, 12 foot, around about that. And they were big human, like like just great big units, I suppose you could say. Like a power lifter, great big strong. massive beings. I mean, like, you just don't stand a chance against them. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're I don't care what martial arts, MMA, boxing, what guns you got, who you know, who you're connected to. Forget it. You're done. You're done. They're just going to pick you up and they're going to throw you around like a rag doll. There was 3 of them. Like I said, they were big, muscular. They were like black, red, and they were all bald. All 3 of them were bald. They all looked very similar. They were human in shape, humanoid, 2 arms, 2 legs, and they were powerful. I mean, you just could not. If one of them grabbed you, you're not going to give him a crack in the jaw and like knock him out and then get a chance to do a runner. It's just not going to go down like that. That thing's going to grab hold of you, and if it wants to, it's going to pull your arms out of your sockets and beat you to death with it. I mean, that is what we're up against here. That's what I was up against here. And I just freaked. I panicked, you know. So I run into this. Like, I just somehow found myself in a corner, and I was like in the corner of the room looking at these things. And I remember thinking, like, I didn't say anything out loud, but I remember thinking in my head, I got no chance here. I'm helpless. I'm not as strong as I think I am. I'm in the real world. I think I can look after myself to a reasonable extent. You know, if someone's a threat to me or my family, I've got no qualms or any doubts that I can defend my family or myself. You know, I'm confident in myself in that aspect. In this realm, no, forget it. And I said in my head, and I knew in my heart of hearts, like, I'm just not man enough for this. This is not a place for any human being. So I'm in this corner and I'm looking at him, and they should be able to see me, like, and they're like stalking around now, and there's 3 of them, great big massive things. But what really put the fear in me, they started to talk. And even now, it's like I've never heard that language before. It's not like you can associate it with any other language, like not Arabic, any earthly language that you would have heard in a film, or any friends that you know that speak different languages, or on the news. Like, it wasn't a language that I've heard before. It wasn't even so much the language that they spoke, it was the tone of their voices petrified me to my core. It was like the deepest, nastiest. Just, you knew that these things were just demons. They were evil personified. You know, there was no reason, and there was that the voices, just their voices alone, was enough to just petrify me. And once the fear started, I felt it rise up in me, like accelerate through my body, the fear. And once I got to a point where I was like, that's it, I'm scared now. Bang, he made it stop. He was with me the whole time. I've always felt he was always behind me. It's like he was showing me for something, showing me these things. But he was always behind me. And I didn't even have to say it, I thought it in my head. I can't handle this. And then bang, as quickly as I thought it, he made it stop. It's like he knew my threshold. He knew, he could hear what I was saying, and it was like a father standing over his child, and like there's an insect or a spider, and the kid's screaming, the kid's scared, but the parents are laughing, like, don't worry, it's only a little spider, you know. And the spider gets closer to the kid really starts freaking out, and then the loving, doting parent picks his child up and says, come on, don't be silly, it's just a little spider. That's the sort of feel I got. And then as quickly as that happened, bang, we was travelling again, like that same acceleration I said before, like the blue light. We was flying through space, time, whatever it was. Travelling in between. I don't know. There was no buildings. It was just blue light, and it was. Forget Mach 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like Mach 400. Was gone, just gone. And we arrived at the second place. Now the second place, I've not really got too much memory of it. I don't know why. I was just in the air. I was in the air, like, and it was all black. It was just like a black as night, you know. and I was just levitating, not moving around. I was just in one position in the air, and there was these flying winged creatures, evil looking things. And that's really all I remember of the second place. You know, I don't remember being scared, or thinking what I thought the first time round in the first place. None of that. I don't know why I don't remember the second place. I just don't. That's just all I remember. It was these winged things. They were demonic looking, torn up wings. How you would typically imagine a winged demon. It's probably not too far from how it looked. So then we left that place, and we went to the third and last place. Again, we left the second place, bang, flying at God knows how fast, blue light again, and I arrived at the third place. And the third place I got to, I was like right up in the air, atmosphere, sky, whatever, and I was looking down on this mountain. Now it was like Mount Everest. You've seen pictures of Mount Everest, and everyone knows how just unbelievably high this mountain is. I was higher than that, looking down. Like there's the mountain. Like, sorry about the hands. There you go. There's the mountain. Yeah, Mount Everest. And I'm like up here, and I'm just slowly. And he's behind me the whole time. All three places, I could feel him. He's behind me the whole time. And I'm just coming closer to this mountain. And this mountain, obviously, I mean, that doesn't do it any justice. It's a mountain, a massive, great big mountain. And as I get closer to this mountain, I'm sort of like coming in on it, ever so softly, you know, no acceleration, no jolting, just a very gentle coming into it. The face of the mountain, it starts coming into focus. I'm starting to see like the contours of the mountain, etc., etc. And I saw this winged demon. Oh, it is a demon. I'm just going to say it was a demon. I don't care what nothing. This thing was a demon. It was huge, and when I say huge, not like I said the three demons in the first one were huge, like 11, 12 foot. No, this thing was huge, like 10, 11, 12 stories tall. Like, it was massive. And what happened was I was coming closer to it, and as all these contours started coming to focus, I see like this thing go vroom on the mountain. It was its wings. It was this thing's wings. And it just knew like where I was, because it did this, yeah, and this scared the hell out of me. I see the wings move, and I just sort of like, it starts to move on the mountain, like as if it was just woken up, you know, it's like stretching. And I'm like, oh my good God, what is that? And it did this, yeah, sorry about the acting, but it did this. Bearing in mind, I'm right up here, and it's done its stretch, and it's just gone bang, and it just looked straight in my eyes. Like it didn't have to search the sky for me. He knew exactly where I was. He knew it was me, he knew where I was, and he was not messing around. He just turned around like the most evil, demonic face. The wingspan was huge. It was huge, like that of a jumbo jet, you know. They were massive. And as he's turned around and just looked straight at me, he weren't smiling, he weren't grimacing, he was just looked at me. He had like, I couldn't tell if they were like, he had whopping great big ears or it was whopping great big horns. But he was demonic, guys, like, I'm not joking. And as quickly as he's looked at me, he just swiped me out of the air like I was a wasp. Just went smack and knocked me out of the air. And I've hit the ground with some considerable force. And it hurt. It hurt, properly hurt. Like, I didn't think I was going to be able to get up. I thought I broke bones. I know you think, well, Cal, you're not in your body, you're in a spirit form, how could you break bones? But believe me, I felt like I was in too much pain to get up. It hurt. And I was, again, scared, people, like proper scared. I got up after, I don't know how long, I weren't on the ground long, you know what I mean, but I got up and this place, wherever I was, this place was just death. It had no light. There was no green in it, in the sense like no trees, grass. I looked at the ground and it was just black rock. Just death. Nothing lived there. There was no hope. I got the sense of like the place was telling me about itself. You know, I was just stood there. It was the worst place I've been to out of the three by far. And I was just looking around and there was just desolate land. You know, I didn't see a lake of fire with burning souls. I didn't hear screams of immense, untold amounts of souls perishing in the fiery pits of hell, or however people have said it in the past. I didn't see none of that. I just saw just an untold amount of land that was just dead. There was no hope. I remember thinking, like, if I wanted to hide here, I couldn't hide. There was no like, oh, there's a cave over there. I could run in there, barricade myself in, get a rock, and if anything comes towards me, they're getting it. No, it was none of that. It was just there's no escape. There was no escape. There was nowhere to hide. It was just the most horrible place, you know? I could feel it. I could feel it. Like, if this was my eternity, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it. So I took a couple of steps, and whilst I'm thinking all of this, and I'm observing my surroundings, and it was just like black rock, and like obviously that great big mountain, but I was walking away from it, and I was just looking out, like just in awe of this place. Not in awe, in like, wow, like, oh my good God, do not send me here. And I could see these things moving. It was like very dark. I could see these things moving, and they were fast. They were fast, like faster than humans could move. We all know, like, give or take, I mean, the human capabilities, how we can move, etc., etc. These surpassed that. They were rapid in the way they moved fast. And there was a few of them. They were basically coming towards me. Yeah, these things were coming towards me, and I was, whoa, straight away, freaked out. And there was loads of them moving. When I say loads, I couldn't tell you how many, whether it be 10 or 50. It was just, I could just see loads of scuttering in the distance. And as they started getting closer, I could see them. They were like human in shape. They looked like they'd just been burnt, but they was in the process of healing. It wasn't like fresh. Again, like the first three, whatever the hell they were like black and red. Like their skin was like a mix between black and red. Like they had, you could visibly see they were burnt to a crisp. But their skin colour itself was like a black and a red. I know it sounds weird, and I've seen testimonies before where they're trying to describe it, and you're like, just tell me what they look like. But that's the best way I can describe it, I'm sorry. And they were running towards me at this point. It's like I disturbed them, you know. They was like running around, and then they start coming at me like they're pissed. They're coming for me, and I'm backing up now. I'm whoa. And they're coming towards me even faster, and I'm scared straight now. And these things were running towards me, and I really only focused in on one of them. You know, there was loads of them moving. I sort of just locked eyes on one of them, homed in on one of them, I suppose you could say. And he was coming for me, and I knew in my heart of hearts, my being of beings, if he had got hold of me, or this thing, whatever it was, had got hold of me, that was it. I weren't leaving. I was not leaving. I knew. It's like it's weird. It's like if I think something like a question, like I just know the answer. It's like if there's no hiding there. What I mean, I got a taste of it in the sense of, like, say you're in hell, yeah, and you can hide in your own thoughts. Like I realised that when I was there. If you're petrified and you're in hell, and they've got like a bed in front of you where they're going to sit there and stab you for eternity, or they're going to throw you in the lake of fire, and you're like, please don't throw me in the lake of fire, but you're thinking it, yeah? They can hear what you think. There's no escape. So they can hear you thinking, oh God, please don't throw me in there. And guess what? You best believe you're going in there. There's no escape, there's no sanctuary, even in your own mind. And this thing was coming at me. And I started screaming, like, at the top of my lungs, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I was holding my hands up, and I was backing up, and this thing was coming at me. Nothing was stopping it. And it got to a point where I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm screaming it now. And right at the point where it was like, he was 20 metres away, 15 metres away, 10 metres away, you know, and he was like, boom, 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 he's coming at me. At the point where he was probably less than 5 metres away from me, I had my hands up and I screamed at the top of my voice. And I remember thinking, this is mad, I'm going to wake my girlfriend up. I thought she's going to hear me screaming. I remember thinking, please wake me up. Like, really, just wake me up so my body, my spirit goes straight back in my body. I don't know, just get me the hell out of here. So I had my hands up and I was screaming, and it jumped, and it was like, this is it, this is it, this thing is going to have me, boom. And I had my hands up, and at the last minute I just screamed, and I meant it from my heart. I screamed, Jesus, please save me, at the top of my lungs, and I held my hands out like that. As soon as them words left my mouth, like, as soon as save me left my mouth, the most unbelievable light just shot out from, well, initially I thought it come out my hands. I had my hands out like that, and it looked like the light had just come out my hand, but it didn't. He was behind me the whole time, all 3 occasions. He shot this light from behind me, the Holy Spirit, the light, and it just wiped these things out. These beings, these creatures that were so unbelievably powerful, so merciless. He just blew them away with light like it was nothing. I saw how powerful he was. He didn't get up, give him a cry. No, none of that. He just blew him away with light. With light. These things would be able to withstand any attack that the human race could give it to them. There's no human in this world that could fight them physically. There's no weapon that could destroy them. I mean, these things are unkillable. They're demons in hell. And he destroyed them with light. And, pardon me, what really made me realise is, like, at my most vulnerable, at my most, like, there's a difference between, like, I've been in fights, I've been in some precarious situations where I've been a bit scared, yeah. I've feared for my safety, I've feared for my life. If you've ever feared for your very soul, that's a whole different ball game. And I'm not playing. None of this is bullshit. I've got nothing to lose. Well, it is what it is. I feared for my soul, and at that very point where I just gave up all hope and I had nothing else in me, who did I scream for? I screamed out for Jesus. And that stuck with me, you know? And he saved me. He saved me 100%. It's like the other times, the first time, I can't really say about the second time, because like I said, it's a bit vague, but the first time, once I thought, whoa, too much, bang, he made it stop. But the third time, them things, I knew their intentions, and as soon as I called out for him, Jesus saved me, I meant it in my heart, I meant it. He, bang, he saved me. And as quickly as that happened, I just felt that levitating feeling I felt when I first left my body. I was just floating, and I was like just floating wherever I was floating, and I had my eyes closed. And I started to feel myself like just slowly come down, and I knew the same way I knew as soon as I left my body. I remembered the prayer, I remembered it, and I knew what it was. I knew it was over as soon as I started levitating and I started to come back down. I just knew that was it. This journey, this whatever it is he wanted to show me, is now over. And I didn't want it to be. As much as I was scared, as much as like 10 seconds before that, I was like, the fear was so paralysing. As though, although I was that scared, I didn't care about that. He had me. He saved me. And I remember just floating back down, and I said to him, I went, what's the message? What do I take from this? Is this a warning for me? You know, am I leading a life, living a life, and this is like a warning, this is where you're headed, or what? And I still to this day don't know. I don't know. He never answered me vocally. I spoke to him, I asked him questions, and he never spoke to me. I just knew he was there the whole time, looking out for me, just behind me. And I still don't know why, and believe me, it does my head in. Why didn't I just look behind me? I don't know why. Maybe he just took that thought from my head. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I wish I did. Like, it was behind me the whole time. Just literally, like, just there. Just making sure I was alright. Like, here you go. Alright then, Callum, you've said this prayer now, mate. So, boom, here you go, have a taste of that. And that's what the sense I'll get. Like, I asked for this. I meant it when I prayed, and I asked for this. And I said to him, if you show me this, I will then go out and tell whoever will listen to me. Regardless, I don't care about being ridiculed. I don't care about what people think. Whatever, I don't care. So, he fulfilled his end of the bargain, so to speak. And I suppose that's why I'm here, trying to fulfill my end. So I've come back into my body again. I actually felt myself. I was just floating down, and I was like, please don't be the end. You know, I don't want to go just yet. Like, now show me the good stuff. Show me heaven. You know, I've seen the bad place. I just want to clarify, I don't believe I was fully in hell. I just believe I was like at the front gate, I suppose you could say. It was bad enough for me. It was bad enough for me. Whatever that place was, I believe it to be, the entrance to hell. I don't think I was in the deepest, darkest parts of hell, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I was there, and I saw it, and he showed it to me, and then he pulled me out at the last minute. So, I'm floating back down, and I knew it was over, and no matter what I asked him, he didn't answer my question. Well, not like an arrogant thing. It's just like I don't know. I was like, what's the message? You know, what do you want me to take from this? And I didn't get any answers. So I've come back into my body, a very slight little, not a thud, not even a thud. I actually felt myself, boom. And then I remember moving my fingers, like on my mattress. I was like, yeah, I'm back. And then I kept my eyes closed. I was like, please don't be over, please don't be over. But I knew it was. So I've turned my head to the side, and I've opened up my eyes, and my missus is still asleep next to me, in the same position she was when I left. And I just looked at her. For about 10 minutes, like, oh my good God, did that just happen? Should I wake her up? You know, by this time, the whole thing. I didn't check times when it happened, and when I got back I was just in like a state of shock. But if I had to put a time frame on the whole thing, I'd say like 10 minutes, like literally like 10 minutes. Like, it felt like when I come out and come back down, I'm fully conscious the whole way through. If I had to put a time frame on it, it felt like I was only gone about 10 minutes. So I'm looking at my missus thinking, oh, my good God, what was that? I know what that was, but like, what was that? And I got up and I went to the toilet, and I was in the bathroom, and bearing in mind, like, this is like well into the early hours of the morning, and I remember, like, I splashed my face in the sink, and then I just sat down in the toilet, and I just sat there for about half hour, and I was gobsmacked. And then I just got this feeling of excitement, like this overwhelming, like I was just sat in the toilet like an absolute lunatic, smiling. Like if my daughter come in, my daughter's 7 years old, if she had come to go to the toilet, she probably would have thought an absolute nutter was sat in the toilet just smiling at her, because I was ecstatic. My prayer, like, do you understand like what I just said? Like my prayers were